Welcome to the Self-Knowledge series of the Living Wisdom YouTube channel. In this Self-Knowledge series, we want to gain a deeper understanding of the self, that level of pure consciousness, the level of pure being, which is the basis of individual life and the very foundation of life in the universe. So in order to understand more deeply the self, we're going to look at the Vedic literature, because the Vedic literature contains the depth of knowledge about the self, about the field of pure consciousness. This is the very speciality of the Vedic tradition of knowledge, that knowledge of the deepest level of life, the knowledge of the self, the knowledge of that field of pure consciousness, pure being. And this is the knowledge we want to uncover in this self-knowledge series. And the first aspect of the Vedic literature that we want to explore is the Bhagavad Gita. Maharishi describes the Bhagavad Gita as the pocket version of the Ved. Maharishi says the Bhagavad Gita is the keynote of Vedic wisdom. The Bhagavad Gita unfolds the total knowledge of the self-interacting dynamics of consciousness described in the Vedic literature in one compact vision. In 700 verses, the total value of a perfect science of life is given out. All the values of the unmanifest, the manifesting process, and the different aspects of manifestation are contained within it. Maharishi explains that the Bhagavad Gita is the song of life eternally taking place on the self-referral level of the sea of consciousness. The Bhagavad Gita presents the science of life and the art of living. It teaches how to be, how to think, and how to do. Maharishi says its technique of glorifying every aspect of life through contact with inner being is like watering the root and making the whole tree green. It surpasses any practical wisdom of life ever cherished by human society. Maharishi further explains that the Bhagavad Gita, the 700 verses contained in the Bhagavad Gita, in the light of personal experiences, should be enough to elevate one's awareness to the totality of natural law and enable one to live life completely according to natural law. Now, in order to unfold the knowledge of the self, we're going to look at Maharishi's commentary on the first 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. This is Maharishi Mahesh Yogi on the Bhagavad Gita, a new translation and commentary, chapters 1 to 6. In chapter 2, the knowledge of Brahma Vidya, or the knowledge of the self, is imparted to Arjuna by Lord Krishna. Arjuna is on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He has to face his relatives who are facing him in the opposing army. And suddenly he has a great conflict between his heart and his mind, and he finds it impossible to act. And he sinks down on his chariot, and he's feeling totally despondent because he doesn't know how to resolve the conflict between his heart and his mind. And Lord Krishna, when he sees Arjuna in this state, unable to fulfill his duty as a warrior, Lord Krishna smilingly spoke these words to Arjuna. The first thing we want to remember, though, is Arjuna surrendered himself to that knowledge, so he opened himself completely to the knowledge that Lord Krishna possessed. He said, "Teach me, for I have taken refuge in thee." And when the when he opened his mind completely and surrendered himself completely to the knowledge about to flow from Lord Krishna, who represents the higher self, who represents that state of the unified field, that immortal, unchanging value of life, when Arjuna surrendered to that, then the knowledge was able to flow to him without any impediments. And now I shall read you the chapters in which Lord Krishna imparted to Arjuna the highest teaching of the self and the highest knowledge of that immortal, unchanging, eternal aspect of life. And this begins with chapter 2, verse 11, and continues until chapter 2, verse 30. This is the essential teaching of Brahma Vidya, the knowledge of that ultimate wholeness of life, the higher self, the inner self, the field of pure, unbounded awareness. Verse 11, the Blessed Lord said, "You grieve for those for whom there should be no grief, yet speak as do the wise. Wise men grieve neither for the dead nor for the living." Verse 12, there never was a time when I was not, nor you, nor these rulers of men, nor will there ever be a time when all of us shall cease to be. 13, as the dweller in this body passes into childhood, youth, and age, so also does he pass into another body. This does not bewilder the wise. 14. Contacts of the senses with their objects, O son of Kunti, give rise to the experience of cold and heat, pleasure and pain. Transient they come and go. Bear them patiently, O Bharat. That man indeed, whom these contacts do not disturb, who is even-minded in pleasure and pain, steadfast, he is fit for immortality, O best of men. The unreal has no being, the real never ceases to be. The final truth about them both has thus been perceived by the seers of ultimate reality. Know that to be indeed indestructible, by which all this is pervaded, none can work the destruction of this immutable being. These bodies are known to have an end. The dweller in the body is eternal, imperishable, infinite. Therefore, O Bharat, fight. He who understands him to be the slayer, and he who takes him to be the slain, both fail to perceive the truth. He neither slays nor is slain. He is never born, nor does he ever die, nor once having been does he cease to be. Unborn, eternal, everlasting, ancient, he is not slain when the body is slain. One who knows him to be indestructible, everlasting, unborn, undying, how can that man, O Partha, slay or cause anyone to slay? As a man casting off worn-out garments takes other new ones, so the dweller in the body, casting off worn-out bodies, takes others that are new. Weapons cannot cleave him, nor fire burn him. Water cannot wet him, nor wind dry him away. He is uncleavable, he cannot be burned. He cannot be wetted, nor yet can he be dried. He is eternal, all-pervading, stable, immovable, ever the same. He is declared to be unmanifest, unthinkable, unchangeable. Therefore, knowing him as such, you should not grieve. Even if you think of him as constantly taking birth and constantly dying, even then, O mighty armed, you should not grieve like this. Certain indeed is death for the born, and certain is birth for the dead. Therefore, over the inevitable, you should not grieve. Creatures are unmanifest in the beginning, manifest in the middle state, and unmanifest again at the end, O Bharat. What grief is there in this? One who sees him as a wonder, one sees him as a wonder, another likewise speaks of him as a wonder, and as a wonder another hears of him. Yet even on seeing, speaking, and hearing, some do not understand him. He who dwells in the body of everyone is eternal and invulnerable, O Bharat. Therefore you should not grieve for any creature whatsoever. So this is the knowledge which Lord Krishna imparts to Arjuna on the battlefield, the knowledge of the immortal, eternal, infinite, invulnerable nature of the self. The self cannot be burned, it cannot be wetted, it cannot be dried, it cannot be harmed in any way. So Arjuna is advised to stand up and fight and remove the evil influences that have accumulated in society for the good of the whole world. So this is the knowledge that Lord Krishna imparts to Arjuna so that he can fulfill his duty and rid the world of the evil influence. And this knowledge helps Arjuna to rise to that level of the unchanging, immortal value of his inner self, so that he can fulfill the dharma, the duty that has been allotted to him from birth. So this is the knowledge of Brahma Vidya, which Lord Krishna gives to Arjuna, and we'll be going much more deeply into this subject of the knowledge of the self in our forthcoming videos. So thank you so much for coming, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button before you go, and I look forward to sharing much more knowledge in this series of self-knowledge so that we can unfold the full value of the self in our journey toward full self-awareness. So thank you so much for coming, and very, very best wishes to you. Very best wishes to you.